My name is Richard Frazier. It's my first time running for anything, anywhere. I don't have any pedigree as it comes down to politics or anything. I guess on my campaign list, I've got "Be the People" on top, which is something that I believe in. I believe that it should be the government for the people. I guess I'm a people too, and I'm here choosing to make a difference. I've lived in Caldonia now for about 7 years. I'm married to my lovely wife that's in the back, and my 2 children. We live here, and I'm running to make a difference.
Okay, thank you. I'm not happy with the way the microphones are sounding right now. But anyway, over to you, Kevin, for the next 60 seconds.
Thank you, George. Is that better?
That's much better, thank you.
First of all, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Taxpayers Association and you, George Myers, and all your wonderful assistants here tonight for hosting this. This is probably my 5th or 6th one. But I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight and just appreciate your time. As a board member representing the residents of Caledonia, it's my responsibility to do what I believe is in the best interest of the village as a whole. Further our growth and maintain our public services while protecting the quality of life and preserving the areas within our borders. I've been fortunate to be able to serve the residents of Caldonia over the last 10 years. Throughout my terms on the town and village boards, we have been able to balance budgets, improve services, and hold line on property taxes. We continue to have the lowest unemployment rate in the state. Our future as a village looks very promising. With the expansions of all tool fasteners, Unico, Wisconsin products, and the continued attraction of new businesses such as the A&W on Highway K, CalStar and Time Transport, we're heading in the right direction. And I just would like to thank you all for coming tonight.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, David, for the next 60 seconds.
Well, good evening. My name is Dave Pratt, and I'm running for Village of Caledonia trustee. And I first of all also would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, as well as the Taxpayers Association for putting this on. So thank you very much. Again, I am a resident of Racine County. I've lived in Caledonia for the last 10 years. I was on the village board before, around 2005, 2006, so I do have an understanding of the workings of how the board operates. I am married. I'm married to my wife, Kimberly Pratt. She's a school teacher at Horlick High School. I also have one daughter. She is 17, going on 21. She's also at Horlick High School and going fast. I am here today running for really one purpose, and that is to serve the constituency of Caledonia, working with the people. I enjoy working with the people, and I have to stop. Thank you.
Thank you much. Okay, Ron, over to you for the next 60 seconds.
First thing I would do is I'd like to thank the Racine Taxpayers Association for putting on this forum. My name is Ron Kreutz, and I'm running for the presidency of the Village of Caledonia. I've been a resident of the Village of Caledonia for over 30 years. Why I'm running, continue to keep the taxes down, bring quality development to Caledonia, as well as continue to improve the quality of life in Caledonia. My experience, I have 20 years on the board as a member of all committees except the Caledonia Sewer and Water Utility, as well as the Health Department. I have been the president for the last 6 years. This has been, again, I want to thank you for participating in the citizen meeting here.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, Bob.
Yeah, thank you. George, again, like everybody said, thanks for coming. I got responsibilities, appreciate it. My name is Bob Bradley. I've been with the Caledonia Utility District as president for the past 2 years. I served on the board for 2 terms, and the reason I did not seek re-election was to get into the utility district and finish the consolidation, which we've done a very good job of. The reason I'm running for presidency is I like to direct with insight and leadership future growth out in that I-94 corridor. believe that's our target area. I'm not sure it would be, so appreciate everyone being here.
Okay, thank you. Now we're ready for the first question. I'm sorry, going to start with you, Richard. Do you support extending the sewer and water to the freeway? And if so, what's your plans to how to pay for it?
I guess presently it's I guess looking at the cost of where the president stops and moving on to the freeway. If we, I guess I would be in favor of it if we've got the a location where we've got enough businesses which are willing to go there. But it is a huge cost for that. So yes, I would be.
You are supportive. Okay, good. All right, thank you. Over to you, Kevin.
I definitely am for the expansion of the water and sewer, the highway I-94 corridor. And the way to pay for it is going to be, we're going to have to, the village is going to have some intestinal fortitude to decide what we want to do. And I believe with our recent agreement with the city of Racine on water and the potential that we've got for that corridor, that we need to take a deep look at whatever we can do to get that water out there. And we are at a disadvantage right now with everybody in this community or in this area as far as for nobody wants to come here because we don't have sewer water. So yes, I am, and I think it'll come in due time, and sooner the better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. By the way, I forgot to tell you, you do have 1 minute to answer this question. With that 5, 10 minutes, you get an extended time to discuss the issue. All right, so David, you're next. You want to extend the sewer and water to the freeway?
Yes, I also do support extending the sewer and water to the
Use my phone a little bit.
Again, yes, I do support it, but I also think we have to do this in a responsible and logical way in which, we have to look at the economy, we have to look at who potentially could be coming. I don't think we should build something and think people will come, so I think there has to be, some commitments from possible businesses coming along the I-94 corridor that would like to come in for us to go ahead and spend what will be taxpayers' dollars to extend the services out there. So, bottom line, yes, I am, but we need to do it in a responsible way.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, Ron. 60 seconds.
I agree. I support the idea of getting water out to the eye, but not right now. Right now, we're if you look at the economy, we're kind of in shaky grounds right now. If you look at businesses, you look at the Wall Street Journal or the Business Journal, a lot of businessmen are holding back to see what happens. Again, to put pipe in the ground and hope somebody comes, and we as taxpayers have to pay for this, this could be a long time before we see any return back for any of our investment in the ground. I've always heard that there's a lot of businesses waiting to come into Caledonia, but the only problem we have in Caledonia is we don't have land and money to give. In other communities, you'll see that like Sturtevant, they have land to give and money to give. So Caledonia, we just don't have that. So again, I support it, but I think it will be time. It will be a while before we see any development going on there.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, Bob. 1 minute.
I am totally supporting taking water out to the interstate. As Kevin said, we have a sewer agreement with the city of Racine, which we will start paying for as soon as PSC approves the final agreement of $1.7 million. If we don't build anything, put anything in the ground, you're not going to attract anybody anymore. So either it's an investment to the future, and I think it's the right way to go, because if we have something, and it's been told to us many times by RCDC, Cordy Casalo, they get opportunities for people to come in and they don't even talk to us. Nobody's going to wait a year and a half, 2 years, and you put a pipe in the ground and when they want to build a building. They want to come in, set their business up, and start doing business. So if you're not going to put it in the ground, I think you're at such a huge disadvantage with the competition. Sturtevant just got a $32 million business because they were ready to go. They talked to Presbyterian, they talked to Kenosha, they couldn't talk to Caledonia. we do not have basic utilities to drive growth in that area.
Okay, thank you. Ready for the next question, Kevin? We'll start with you. Do you support rerouting or expanding Highway 38? If so, which route? If not, why not? 60 seconds.
I don't, that's a good question there, George, I like that. First of all, I'll tell you, no, that I'm against rerouting Highway 38. Highway 38, as it currently stands, I believe is sufficient. The upgrades they did to that, to the intersections I live right off Highway 38, have done wonders for that road. When they resurfaced it and everything else, the traffic volume there is not that it needs to be improved any more than it is. What they want to do is they want to take virgin soil and cut right through the farmlands. And I think there's better opportunities that we have, or better use for that money, better ways that we can go about this. And on the second part of it, which way do you bring it down? My thought was always to look at the H, I believe it was H4, that brought it down Highway H, and all the way down to Highway K, and the 4 mile to connect with the industrial park. And by doing that, we can utilize more of what we have, and at a greater cost savings than using existing roads, Class A roads.
Okay, thank you. David, over to you. You got the question?
Got the question. And I have to say I agree with Kevin. The state has, they improved the intersections on Highway 38. They did a paving program, and working for Racine County as the highway commissioner, or highway superintendent, I can tell you there's a lot of other state road highways that could use that funding and to go ahead and redo something that they've just done. So that money could be redirected to other places that definitely need the help and work. And as far as the relocation, if it does go through, I would agree that the Highway H going through the industrial park would be the way to go. We certainly would want to make sure that it's the very least impact to the residents as far as how that would be redirected.
Okay, thank you. Ron, over to you. You support rerouting it? If so, which route?
I understand, we've had meetings with the DOT. This is one of those things that there's money to be taken care of that road. If we don't do anything, we may lose the money. I look at highway, I've been at several meetings, and the H2 is one of the areas where they're bringing the water, they're bringing the Highway 38. That comes out of Oak Creek, goes down Highway H, always south of 4 Mile Road. It makes a bend going past the industrial park, and then connects south of Brook Road. That, to me, out of all the options we had, is probably the most positive option because it helps our industrial park, improves that. Again, all this has to go back to the Highway 38 committee to review it. There's like 4 other items that you have to review, and so that's what we're looking at. But again, there's money there. If we don't act on it, we lose it. And that doesn't come back to us, doesn't come to Caldonia. We lose it back to the funds for anybody else in the state of Wisconsin.
Okay, thank you. Bob, what do you support?
I've got to kind of go with what Dave and Kevin had said. I think there needs to be more study about that. I think they need to take a harder look how it impacts the residents of that area and what's going on in that direction. I agree with Ron that, yeah, bringing the water down to closer to the industrial park and all that, those kind of things are positive actions, but you shouldn't let the side of money dictate making bad decisions. So I think there needs to be more consideration.
Thank you. And we'll finish up with you, Richard. What do you feel about rerouting, expanding Highway 38?
At this time, no, I don't agree with the rerouting of the freeway, of the highway. I guess at this time, right now, they're also talking about 794 coming down. And with that also, I'm most in favor of rehabbing 38 to bring up the standards, because the DOT says that it's not the standards that some of the areas are substandard. and looking at the traffic volume on 38 versus 6 Mile, it doesn't seem like it warrants the amount of money that you spent on the project.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're ready for question number 3 now. We're going to start with you, David. Do you support building a new village hall? 60 seconds.
Do I support supporting building a new village hall? Well, first of all, I guess I would have to have more of the facts of, you know, are we outgrowing the one that we're in? You know, what are the costs of running that village hall compared to building new? But what it comes down to is dollars and cents, and, you know, it would be on the burden of the taxpayers to fund such of a project. And again, quite frankly, if it's warranted that we can make a case to the taxpayers, then I wouldn't be opposed to moving forward with a project like that. But again, it has to be warranted where the case can be made and to our taxpayers, and so they have an understanding of what they're paying for and why.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, Ron, for the next 60 seconds.
In the village, or being on the board for over 20 years, I've seen a lot of things need improvement. Village Hall definitely needs improvement. We've had mold in our heating systems, our carpet's bad, buildings falling apart. We've had our fire department needs to be redone. We're going to be spending probably over $200,000 or better than that. And I'm trying to get that fixed up. The village hall has been for a long time. If you go in there, you can see there's cramped. There's no room for anybody. We've got people sitting on top of each other. The other issue that I see is, yes, I'd like to do a study before we go out and start looking for to build a village hall. Where can we build it? Do a study. Do then a public hearing, bring it to the public, explain to them what we need. Maybe take a tour through the village. And at that time, then do a referendum. Again, I agree, it goes on the taxpayer. Let them make that decision. I think it's important when we go through that whole, and hear what the taxpayers have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bob, next 60 seconds is yours.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with the comments Ron just made. The village hall is in terrible shape, terrible shape. It is on a mound system that right now is ancient, and no sewer system. So you're looking at potential contamination of groundwater, all kinds of things of that nature. You really need to step back, take a look at the village hall and that police station they're investing a ton of money in, because it has a lot of the same issues going on, and reevaluate the direction where they want to go with that kind of system. They're putting money into it, which is only a Band-Aid in the big picture of things. Either you're going to commit to the project or live where you are, and it's just not a feasible thing to do.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, Richard. The village hall?
My off-the-cuff answer, we're in that. I guess without knowing all the extent of the damage that's there presently, I've been over there, and yes, it is cramped over there. But there are ways also to expand and to add on to it. As far as the mold and such, which was mentioned, I guess I'm not aware of all these facts. But I guess I would be interested in what are the options. Is it a new building, or can we expand? Are there other buildings in the village which can be utilized also?
Okay, thank you. Finish up with you, Kevin. New village hall?
This would be I guess a question, that's a good question, and it'd be a qualified yes, because, you know, going in that building, and Dave touched on a number of different things, and even when he was on the board, we've had problems in that building for years. And the existing highway department building that has got a lot of equipment in there, a lot of very expensive equipment that at one point in time, if that roof collapsed, we're kind of shot. But I guess to look at that, yes, would I like a new building? Yes, sure would. You know, that'd be great. We have to look at what our costs, the costs are that are gonna outweigh, what we're doing. I mean, we've got a roof that leaks that's gonna have to be replaced. We had window replacement years ago. When they were taking that out, they pulled the window out and water physically just poured out of the wall, the outside wall. So we do have mold issues in there. We've got tiles that have been there since I've been on the board that have been in the roof. The system with the mold, we're going to have a mold test on. So, yes.
We got it. All right, thanks a lot. All right, and did you start that one?
I did.
Yeah, you just started. Okay, so we're ready. All right, next, number 4, and this is going to start with you, Ron. Would you support consolidation of services with the county and or the city? And I suppose a little addendum to that, you might identify a couple of the services that you think could be consolidated.
Okay. I guess the first thing I would look at is the fire. Being an ex-firefighter retiring from the fire department in the city of Racine, the easiest thing, consolidating fire service east of the I would make sense. We've been talking about that for many years. The other thing is consolidating, we've already done that with the health department. With Mount Pleasant, Sturtevant, going all the way out to Dover. We've got our health department we've consolidated. It's been very positive. Looking at parks, that was been brought up one time that maybe we should look at consolidating parks throughout the county. Again, doing consolidation, you need studies, you've got to look at it. Does it make sense? Again, like I said, looking at all the things that are out there, again, working on a committee. Consolidating fire service is probably the most easiest one to do because basically they all do the same thing.
Okay, thank you. Bob, over to you. By the way, Ron, it sounds like a positive. You'd be willing to consolidate.
Yes, I would, yes.
Okay, Bob.
Yes, I'm in favor of intergovernmental cooperation. I think it's important for our survival. I mean, there's things that we can cooperate on, and we already are. Joint dispatching is another one that we've been involved with when I was on the board and got through. And it does work. I mean, there's other agreements that we have that are intergovernmental right now. The sewer agreement, that's with Mount Pleasant, Summers, Sturtevant, Caldonia, we're all tied up into the same situation. So it does work and it saves on resources. So I'm very much in favor of intergovernmental.
Thank you. Over to you, Richard. What do you think about the consolidation idea?
I'm partially in favor of it. I guess in the case that I would not be in favor of it would be like our postal system. I think we consolidated that, and I can't get mail because I put Caledonia for my address at work. So, so I guess if it works better than the mail system, but as far as water and sewer, I would be in favor of that.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, over to you.
Yes, we've done quite a bit of consolidation, and in fact, on my list pieces, that's one of the things I've done is continue to support intergovernmental cooperation and consolidation. What we've done currently, or just recently, is IT services with the county. That's one of the most recent things that we've done. Would I with the city? Probably not. I don't relish, consolidating with anything with the city. We have got our, Ron talks about the fire departments east of the I could go east of the I, excluding the city. I think that we had talked at one point in time of potentially going with Mount Pleasant and ourselves, and that probably worked very well because we already have a station together in joint services.
Okay,
Public health and joint part and things of that nature with Mount Pleasant.
Thank you. Okay, David, finish up with you.
I completely support consolidation of services, intergovernmental cooperation. I think it's a good thing. It's bottom line, it's a savings to the taxpayer. But with that, I just want to say that also with the consolidation, it needs to make sense, and it has to be to the benefit of Caledonia and the taxpayers in trying to merge or consolidate whatever service that they do that we're looking at.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next one is for Bob. He starts off this one. Would you support cutting overhead expenses and other cost cuts to balance the budget? And if so, what would you cut? And I think the real important part of that last part of it. We all want to cut costs. What could you cut out of the budget?
What would I,
Yeah.
that's a tough question. Read that first question one more
Yeah,
time.
these are always tough ones. I tell you the way we phrase this question. The automatic one is this. It was this: is our only choice cutting costs? I mean, raising taxes or cutting services? Or is there a way to cut? To do neither of those. You don't have to raise taxes. You don't have to cut service. Just find some waste in there to cut.
Got it.
Okay? That type of
I got it.
Hang on.
I think there's a combination of both things that you can do. I don't know if we are as lean and as efficient as we could be. Some things, the economy's in a very rough situation right now, and I don't know where we stand personalized and in tune with all that stuff. So is there places that you could cut that would be something that we would have to evaluate?
Before you get into your second part, I'm going to extend this one a little bit. This isn't exactly a yes or no question.
No, this is the tough
All
one.
right, so let's go up to at least a minute, 30 seconds. And we'll drive from there.
Won't matter, Kevin can't stop in that time.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right, go ahead. I think you would really have to, as a board, analyze what each department does. I mean, this is a cooperation between department heads, and those are the type of issues that are really tough to talk about in saving the budget. Cutting positions, losing services, and that nature. I don't think anybody wants to lose their services. So how do you do that without raising taxes? Caldonia has been very lean when it comes to taxes. I think we've held a zero price since I've been involved out here. I mean, it's just been the nature of the business.
Well, that's cool, but where are you going to cut?
Well, that's something I would have to, once in, if I'm in, then that's something we'd have to evaluate. I just can't give you an off-the-cuff answer of where I would cut, but I think there's some things that we possibly could look at.
All right, over to you, Richard. Is the choice raise taxes or cut services, or can you find some fat to cut out of the budget? And if so, where's that?
Thus far, I've not had a chance to go through the budget with a fine tooth comb to know all the intimate details of the budget. But yes, I'm a firm believer that here in Wisconsin that the law of the land is Obamacare. Can you save money there? Or Act 10. So there are tools to be used, and so by going through the budget, there are hard choices to make sometimes. I think that California should be able to have a zero increase in the tax levy. So I think we use the tools which we have to do what's necessary for the people.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, raise taxes or cut services, or we can do something besides that choice?
Something besides it. I believe our levy went up $54,000 or $56,000. I believe that's what it was. And, you know, I look at our services that we have here in the village of Caldonia, and I look at them as being second to none. We've got people that, our highway department, for example, is 13 guys there. They bust it always. They know what their job is. They come in sick, and they do what they got to do, and they don't waste the time, waste money, waste resources. Our police department doesn't, our fire department doesn't. I don't think we've got any department here that wastes it. They know the efficiencies that they need to do. They know that of where we're at and what, the situations that we've been in, and they've been there for us, we've been there for them. And I think working with, as mentioned, with the department heads and working with the staff itself, I think we come finding efficiencies. And We've done a lot of cutting in the budgets in the past, and the ones that always stepped up to the plate were the department heads and the workers. They always stepped up to the plate and helped us when we needed that help. And I still believe that they will be there tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. David?
I agree with both Bob and Kevin. I think it's important that when it comes to finding money and cutting, it's important to talk to the department heads that are running the individual departments. A lot of times, more so than not, the department heads can come up and find some ways to make some cuts that bring us down to that bottom line where we need to be at the end of the day.
Let me ask you a question about that, because I think that's a good idea. Would you send a mandate down to the department heads and say, you cut your budget by 10%, and you find it, and if you don't, I'll come down and do it? Would you issue something strong like that as a trustee?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it like that, but I would strongly suggest that they try to find some savings within their department that could be cut down. I can tell you from a county standpoint, that's what we get told. You come up with a cut, or we'll cut it for you. So that is more of an incentive to find something to cut where you're making the decision rather than perhaps someone that doesn't exactly know how your operation works. But to further that, again, also another part of the budget, of course, is capital. So if you think that again through the departments you can't come up with enough, maybe then too also you need to look at capital. Capital 5-year plan, maybe you got to push something back another year or two in order to cut the cost in that particular year.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ron, you got the last shot at it.
I've been involved with the last 20 years about 10 budgets. When we were a town, the town was cut over $500,000 away from the budget. We had to struggle to find out how we could operate the village or the town. As we moved as a village, we've asked our department heads to do some cuts. We even asked our employees back 2 years ago when we needed a cut. They came forward and gave up some of their wages to get through, so we had to make through because we're sitting on a shaky grounds. You know, right now we're at the bottom line. All our employees and everybody else, we've been doing so many cuts. We're at the end, and there's no other place to go. I mean, we've said at budget hearings and listened, and we've cut down to paper clips and everything else. We're down at the bottom line, and if we look at it, the village of Caldonia is the lowest taxes outside the city of Racine and lower than city of Racine, Sheridan, and Mount Pleasant. We've worked hard at this. To me, you're sitting there saying, where are you going to cut? You're going to go out and demand something? We've done that already. Our staff and our administrator went forward to do all this. Again, we're right at the bottom line here, and the only thing that's drawing us back, we could go forward, is commercial growth. We don't have it. And without commercial growth, eventually you're going to find out you're going to end up, one of these days, if we keep on where we're going, we're going to throw the keys on the floor and walk out the door. So that's all I can say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is our first round. I'm going to take a 30-second break. Do you support Wal-Mart locating a store in Caledonia? Why or why not? And that's 60 seconds. That's a 60-second question.
I do support bringing Walmart into Caledonia. Do I support Walmart going where it's intended to go? That's up in the air yet. There's so many questions left unanswered about that particular spot. I support any business, and I think we have a responsibility as a board to visit any company that wants to come into Caledonia. So yeah, I support Walmart coming out here. I think they're going to be a good company for us. But again, you're going to have to take a hard look at where they want to put Walmart. There's too many unanswered questions for that area. So, but the bottom line is, yeah, I want that company.
You want them here? All right.
Somewhere.
Just where? Somewhere. All right. Ron, over to you. What do you say about that?
At this time, I can't respond to this. On Monday, we were notified by the Wal-Mart group that's against Walmart. They are filing a lawsuit. So at this time, I will not respond to any of these questions about Walmart.
Okay. David? Do you support Walmart locating a store in Caledonia?
I support any business coming into Caledonia. I know very little other than what I've read in the paper about the Walmart coming into Caledonia. And I think, from what I understand, there is a group now put together that's diving in a little bit, doing a more in-depth study that I'm assuming will be coming back to the board at a later date. So right now, I don't have all the facts that's surrounding this issue. I know it's a big issue. I've talked to a lot of people. I've went up to a lot of doors, and I can tell you that the majority of the people, from what I've heard from just visiting those doors, are not in favor of a Walmart. There are a few that are. But again, I think the jury is still out on this. I need some more facts. I also agree with Bob. I think the location is just awful. From a road setting, as far as the highway, it's just not a very feasible spot for it. Highway 31 would have been a better location, and maybe still is an option.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, how are you?
I have to echo what Ron said because we've been advised on the board not to comment, but I will say this. There's a process that has to be followed, and the process is currently working its way through our planning commission. And once that process is followed and things are done, you know, or questions are answered, things of that nature, that the process will, once played out, will either give credence for something or the development, or it will not. So that's pretty much all I can say.
Okay, thank you. I'll finish up with you, Richard. Walmart, yes or no?
At this time, I am in favor of Walmart or any other business coming into Caledonia. But this Walmart question as it stands, the issue, I believe that I guess as an engineer, I need more information. I'm not against Walmart, I'm not for Walmart coming in. But until I have enough information to make a proper assessment, I mean, I would not want to prejudge myself for either side without letting them go through the process.
Okay, thank you. You really want me to ask this one, Lisa, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, all right, here we go. You're going to do a paragraph here, and Ron and Kevin, I hope you can answer it. Quote, do you support amending our land use plan to allow the parcels of land located at the southeast corner of 4 Mile and North Green Bay Road, currently part of the BCN, to be designated for high-impact retail development, meaning a development of over 70,000 gross square feet or a site over 5 acres?
You want me to go again?
No, you get to finish it up this time.
What it is basically, George, is the Walmart question only, would you support something as big as Walmart? I'm assuming, you know, that's what I have.
All right, in other words, this is bigger than what they're proposing? Or?
No. This is, I guess what I'm assuming this question is that's the parcel for Walmart, is it not?
The southeast corner of 4 Mile and North Green Bay Road.
Yeah.
That's the proposed site that you were talking about?
I guess
Okay.
basically what they're asking, would you want to rezone it, no matter what the development was, if it was a development?
All right, okay, I got it here. Do you support amending our land use plan to allow the parcels of land at the southeast corner of 4 Mile and North Green Bay Road, currently part of the BCN, to be designated for high-impact retail development, or it's got to be rezoned, meaning a development of over 70,000 gross square feet, which I think is pretty big, and a site area of over 5 acres. Okay, so that's that question. Do you support that? First question, you, Ron, are you legally allowed to answer that question?
Well, basically, the committee that has been formed to the planning commission has already set up getting the citizens that were looking at that land, at the village center, and we're looking at that, and we're drawing back the people that were on the original committee to let us know really what that land is scheduled for. So there's some confusion right now on how that land should be developed.
I understand.
And then do I support it? I'm going through the committee, let the committee decide how what's going on. That's what we're doing right now. To sit here and tell you, I'm going to do this, and if all of a sudden that committee comes up with a recommendation going the opposite way.
Wait a minute, it's not asking you whether you're going to do it. It's asking you whether you support changing the land use to allow.
I have to go to the committee and see if it can be changed. If the committee will decide, there's still issues right here, we don't know if it can be changed or not.
Okay, I understand that, but would you support changing it if they can?
I would have to look at it more in detail.
Okay, I think that's the basic question. Would you support the change? Not can you make a change, is the deal to be done, but would you support the change of that land use plan so that it is allowable? And maybe you might find out the lawyers say, no, you can't do it, but in the meantime, what do you think? Suppose they say they can do it, would you support it? Yeah, it's up to you, Dave. Yeah, you're next. We're going to the
Look
first
at an
one.
empty seat.
Yeah.
As far as the land use plan is overall, I support following the land use plan, but I also see that as a tool that Caledonia uses to know what should or shouldn't be in that proximity or location throughout the whole village. It is a tool.
Let me interrupt you. Did I interpret you say you wouldn't support changing it, or do you think it should stay the way it is?
Well, it is a tool, and I think anything is subject to change. And if it's doable, if it's legal, if it makes good sense for Caledonia, I would support changing the land use plan.
Okay.
But again, as long as it makes sense.
That's what you answered the question. Then. Thank you very much. Kevin, over to you.
George, I can't answer that question. It's back doorway for that parcel, and I won't touch that one. But I will say this. The land use plan needs adjustment in several areas. And probably in some areas that some people may not think that they do, but, you know, and I do, and other board members may, or citizens or whoever may differ, or the committee, but there are land use plan adjustments that need to be made within the village land use plan.
But you don't think this is necessarily
that I can't say it.
Is that because of the legal thing?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So I mean, and I'm not trying to duck anything here, but we've been on legal advice not to because of potential litigation.
That's fine. We have to respect that. All right. But Richard, you're not bound down by that. You got to answer it.
Well, I can answer it, but I guess without knowing what the impact's going to be for that neighborhood, it seems like right now that nobody has all the information to know what the impact's going to be, negative or positive. And so for me to say yay or nay presently, I think would not be fair in the process.
Do you have an opinion whether it would be negative or positive?
No, I don't.
No, okay. That's fine. We're done with you then, all right?
Pardon me?
We're done? We're done?
Yes.
Okay. Bob, just finish up with you.
All right, there's a couple things I'd like to talk about or address with the land use plan versus the comprehensive plan. First off, we have a very good land use plan. It may need to be tweaked from time to time, but overall, the land use plan is correct. If there's a problem with mapping with the comprehensive plan versus the land use plan, adjust the comprehensive plan and leave the land use plan alone because it's going to take care of itself. That plan was voted on by the board, and to me, it takes a board action to change that plan. The planning commission's job is to make a recommendation to the board on how this project goes, if it's a zoning issue, for example. There's so much criteria involved with changing the zoning of that area, the roads, the traffic, the architectural design. There's so many issues involved here. For you to say, I'm going to change it without having all that input and all that knowledge is not going to work. You got to step back and look at it. But overall, my opinion, leave the land use plan alone, tweak it if you got to, but it supersedes the comprehensive plan.
Okay. Thank you much. All right, so the next one starts with David. Oh, another Walmart. What is your goal of running for the board?
If you read the first part.
All right, okay, I thought I was reading the part squared off. All right, considering Walmart is a single issue that will resolve itself through normal due process, including public input. With that issue aside, here's the real question. What is your goal of running for the board other than... And we're going to go back up to the minute and a half because this is not a yes or no question. But try and keep it as brief as possible. What's your goal for running for the board and or president when you get to these two guys, other than Walmart?
As I stated in my opening statement, I'm really running for the board to work with people. I think it's important that you've got somebody on the board that's going to listen to the people, that's going to take what they have in mind and hopefully be able to deliver on some of those things that the people are looking for here in Caledonia, the place that they live. So that is my goal, to work with the people and to make sure that what they're asking for can be delivered.
Okay, that's good. Kevin, what's your goal, other than Walmart? Keep that out of
So
it.
can you repeat that again, because
Yeah, okay. What is your goal of running for the board other than Walmart? I mean, we're keeping Walmart out of the discussion. What's your goal?
well, that'll be an easy question to answer. Sorry. The village, like I said, the village here has got plenty of promise for expansion of existing businesses that we have currently in the village. I believe one of our greatest goals is to not only maintain those existing businesses, but have those existing businesses or help them in fostering some way for them to grow and stay here in order to bring in additional businesses. We had that with All Fasteners. They brought All Tool in here, we're seeing, and out in the industrial park. We had Unico expanded with hundreds of jobs. We've had Wisconsin Products down the road here that have expanded. We've got, those are all businesses that have been, you know, at one point in time here in one section of the village or town at that point in time for a long time. And we need to foster an even greater community to where we can get them to come and bring other people with them. And we're starting to do that. We're getting people coming over the border from Raymond, you know, at E&W, the I-94 Highway K corridor. That's an excellent, you know, spot for us to grow. But it's keeping existing businesses and working on getting additional businesses of the same or better.
Okay, thank you. Richard, over to you. What's your goal in running for the board?
I guess the reason why I'm running is that I think as a citizen that we should serve. And I think that the people should have hope and trust in government. And I think that I'm able to listen and to make proper decisions that would with the people in mind. So I guess my goal is to represent the people.
Okay, thank you. Bob, over to you.
Aside from all the big issues, growth and all that kind of stuff, I think we need some direction on finding out who our character is. What is Caledonia about? What is our identity? I think we have some things in Caledonia that are very unique to just Caledonia. I mean, you can come out of the city of Racine and be in horse country right away. It's a beautiful sight, and Caledonia has a lot to offer. I like the partnership more with some of the organizations we have, the Back to Nature programs, River Bend and Conservancy. I think they do such a wonderful job helping us in developing who we are. I'd like to see more of that happen. I'd like to see some if we have all the efficiencies that we can have. We're in a very low economy right now, so why wouldn't you want to capitalize on looking at the broad picture of things and take advantage of those economical crises to help get you where you want to be? So that would be my goal, is open up dialogue in those areas.
Okay, thank you. Ron? Finish up with you.
Again, my goals would be to keep the taxes down, especially during tax season. I do have a number of calls complaining about taxes being high. The other thing is to bring quality development in Caledonia. As Kevin mentioned, the industrial park. Myself and the administrator met with the businessmen in the industrial park. We're working on that to improve it. We spent some money to improve the roads and lighting and put signage there. I feel that this is a big key to improve Caledonia and bring development. We already have sewer and water there. Again, as to run for this board, you're trying to improve the village of Caldonia in the quality of life. But the other thing is we need to get businesses. We do have an existing industrial park we need to work at. And hopefully in the future we'll see Highway 38 come close by that would really help that industrial park. And again, it has sewer and water, and that's where I think I like to put my energy in.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next question goes to Kevin, and this is going to be our last question, by the way. We're not going to have an overtime because we don't have any other questions laying here. We're just about out of time. This one starts off interestingly. It says, as it is, you believe Caledonia is sustainable. And I'm going to interpret that to mean if we don't change anything, is Caledonia sustainable? Whoever submitted that question, I hope I interpreted that correctly. But without any changes, is Caledonia sustainable?
No.
Interesting. You want to say anything to that?
Oh, you know, you could sit there.
You got 60 seconds to do it, but that's the question. And you answered it very well. Okay, so.
Well, that's what you want, was yes.
That's right, that's right.
And we're not. You know, we talked, you know, all of us have said something one way or the other that we have to bring something else in here. We want to bring in something either existing and maintain that existing for to help us maintain where we are, or we want to bring something new in here to help us maintain and maybe do a few additional things. We've got a number of, for being on the board for 10 years, going through budgets where we sat there and we would, you know, rip our hair out. I don't have much hair, but we rip our hair out just trying to go through the budget, figure out where we are at and what we could get, you know, what we'd have to do, and for the next year, if we were going to be so detrimental this year. And so if we don't keep on going where we're, you know, moving ahead a little bit, and getting some additional business in here or whichever in certain areas, then we aren't sustainable.
Okay, I got that. I think that's a good answer. In other words, Caledonia is not going to exist as it is without some changes. It's not nice to change. We're going to have to change.
Well, if I can say one thing real quick, because Tom was, you know, going to confuse me over that sign. But no, you've got a commercial business. Commercial business is about 30–40% of their taxes go for services. Okay, so the rest of that's you know, the
that's fine.
A plus. Whereas in a household is about 120%. So you're in deficit there. So surplus deficit, which do you want? We got a lot of everything else.
Richard, go ahead. Your next 60 seconds is yours.
That's a very good question. I don't have the experience that my friend here has, and so I guess that question, I'm not prepared to answer the question. I don't have enough knowledge of the village at this time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Robert?
Sustainable, I would say, yes, we can limp along. And that's what we'll be doing, limp along. Until 41% of our property tax goes to unified school district. And I think that's one of the big issues we haven't even talked about at all. And what's going on with the school system and how are we going to bring people into Caledonia. Until we're ready to address that failure, as a board, that should be a board responsibility as well, is to create dialogue with unified school district and see what their direction is going. I think once we clear up some of these issues, get some business out here, I think we'll be doing much better, but I think we'll just limp along for a while. But I don't want to lose sight of Unified School District either, because it's still killing me.
Thank you.
Value went down, taxes went up.
Got it, okay. Ron, go ahead.
I agree with Kevin. No is the answer. We will not survive. The reason why I look at it is the state has cut cities, villages, and towns financials coming, revenue sharing, took a big impact. Money for roads has been a big cut. It just put a burden on the villages. As I sit here, again, as I've heard through all my colleagues here, up here, indicate that we need development. That's the key here. If we don't get development and we stay stagnant, eventually you're going to throw the keys on the floor and shut up, because we won't have the village of Caldonia. And I know everybody looks at me and says, oh, that's not true, but look at what's happening. We're struggling so hard. As Kevin said, we go through the budget. We went through it several times to keep on doing cuts. We're just doing too many. We can't cut no more, and we're at the bottom. We've got to get some commercial growth here. If we don't, we're going to die. And we don't have money to give away. We just don't have it. And that's what they say.
Thank you. Finish up with you, David.
Well, I'm optimistic, and I agree with Bob. I hope we can move along. You know, there are a lot of things that put us in a bad spot right now as far as the economy. You know, like many of you, I received a letter too. Our property values went down 40. I heard people saying $40,000 to $60,000 down in your property value. Who would have ever thought that when you invested in your real estate that you'd be taking a hit like that today? You know, so that is a problem too. And you know, I've heard we've tried to hold the line on taxes, but even though that the property values have went down, the actual taxes we've paid has not. Like a lot of people, when I go to the doors, they say, well, my property value dropped $40,000, but my taxes went up, you know, $100,000. How can that be? So, is there an easy fix to that? No, but I do think with development, if we can get some new development in, get a tax base with business, I think that will give some relief to the homeowners.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. That completes the question and answer period. We're going to finish off the forum now with closing. 1 minute? 1 minute.
In closing, what I would like to say, and there's been a lot of discussion about a lot of negative things about Caledonia. Caledonia is a great place to live, and I think there's huge opportunity out here. I mean, but you have to believe it, and you have to be willing to make the investment in the future of Caledonia. If we put water in the I-94 corridor, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's an investment. You have to believe in what you want to do. It's no different than investing your money in the market or anything else. So you have to have a vision for where you want to see Caledonia. The only way we're going to survive is, like the boy said here, get some development out here. But we really have to open up some channels of dialogue with our Unified School District. If you bring people in who want to get their kids a good education, then it has to be addressed, because that goes hand in hand with the companies that you want to bring in here. So,
thank you.
You're welcome.
I agree with Bob. I do believe in the village of Caldonia. That's the reason why I keep running for this on this board. One of the things that are really important is I've seen it happen. People come to our community and say it's a wonderful community. Again, I look at it. I bring experience to the village for over 20 years. I've been on the board as president for the last 6 years. Again, I believe in Caldonia. It's the best place to live. Again, I'm asking everyone on April 2nd to vote for Ron Coots for president. Thank you.
Thank you. David, next 60 seconds is yours.
My name is Dave Prott, and I'm looking for your vote. I would appreciate it that you consider me. Certainly, I hope you consider those that show up. April 2nd is the day, and again, I would be honored to serve you as one of your board members in the village.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight and taking the time out of their evening to spend listening to us. Hope you learned, you know, a lot about everybody. But I just Caledonia can be a thriving community, more so than it already is. We have many things out here in the village that that I don't think a lot of people understand. Jonathan Delagrave once said that, our former chair and president, first president, said that this is the only place that you can live in an area and jump on your bike and ride 5 minutes and smell the horses. And it's a nice feeling, and you don't leave the community. You know, so we have to maintain what we have here. We have to maintain the businesses currently that we have here and hopefully draw more. We have to maintain the services that we have. Our services are second to none. It's my true belief. And I guess I will, you know, I've been proud to serve you guys for the last 10 years, and I hope you vote for me again on April 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll finish up with you, Richard.
Over the past year, I've not gone a lot of doors in Caledonia. But one thing that I've been impressed by is I've walked on Ellis Street, which I salute them. It's like the working poor. And then I've walked down Sunday. I've also knocked over by the horse people. And so Caledonia is very diverse, and running for office has given me a great opportunity to see Caledonia for what it is. You can tell people that I live across the street from a cornfield. They don't live around here, and they don't believe me. I am thankful for this opportunity to run. I'm asking for your vote. I would also like to thank you, George, and you for this opportunity to meet the people.
Okay, thank you for that. And I want to thank you all folks for attending. I want to thank my timer, Tom Weatherston, for a great job he did. My screener, Lisa.